Welcome back, my dear ladies, to another interview with an amazing Aquarian age woman. My name is Tanya. I'm your host, and today I have lovely Zdenka on the phone. Hello, Zdenka.
Hi, Tanya. How are you? Good to see
Good.
you.
Good to see you too. Zdenka lives in Canada, and she's a psychotherapist and a Gestalt therapist.
And I also a hypnotherapist too.
Also hypnotherapist. Wow. We have amazing ladies all across the world, right? And it's fantastic to
Yeah,
meet new women
yeah,
all the time.
that's very correct. Yeah, it's exciting to see women rising and changing their world and changing their lives and others as well. Yeah,
Exactly. That's why we're here.
exactly.
So, Zdenka, you're looking back at many years of self-development yourself,
Yeah.
right? And my first question is, what made you realize that it's time to work on yourself?
Mhm. Well, it was a time when I actually moved to Canada. It was also the need to understand the culture, understand the different people, which is from all over the world, but also understand myself because I was, I believe, 36, 38 years old at the time. And I felt I'm missing out on life. I'm missing something. I'm missing some key understanding. And then I was starting to seeking the answers initially through spirituality that I was always growing in my 20s, 30s, but there was something kind of fundamentally missing, like, the piece of puzzle that I could not sort it out, what doesn't click. So that's what brought me to the personal growth. And actually what led me as well to sign up for Gestalt in Toronto was as well seeing my best friend bringing up her kids. And she did the Gestalt program in Europe. And we talk about it a lot. And I saw the big change in her. And and it was inspiring to see that the change is possible. So that was kind of the first step. And the second step was actually when I was watching once the video from Astrolada introducing Natalia Kubilkina. It was, something, this is the teacher I was looking for, something kind of click. Okay, I need to work with this lady to get through what I need to get through. And then things starting to kind of open up, right? And that was already after I finished Gestalt program. So it was not that I was not working with clients, but again, it's like layers. It's constantly like peeling the layers. In Gestalt, there is a one theory, peeling layers of onion. So when you peel this soft, tiny layer, you always kind of go through pain or cry. So it's in our life too. We have to kind of peel the layers that we build up as a protection, yeah, to kind of to change something, to transform.
Yeah, it's layers after layers. And you told me this earlier, the work does never stop, really.
Yes, it's true.
Could you please tell us what Gestalt therapy is? Because I forgot to ask about this.
Yeah, Gestalt therapy. Gestalt is a German word, and it means like a form or state. I will try. It's a free translation, so don't bear me for that. And it was developed by a German gentleman called Fritz Perl, and also his wife Laura Perl. Let's say in the 50s, they escaped from the war to South Africa initially, and they started building the idea of it, and they moved to US and developed a school which was like quite kind of growing in the 60s, 70s in these kind of open era. And they were very direct in terms of the personal growth. They were focusing on the kind of cycle of Gestalt when you're going from pretty much like a motivation, like you get mobilize yourself. The mobilization could be I get angry or frustrated, and then I take action, and then I complete and accept it and integrate it to my life. And it goes like the spiral kind of up, right? So it goes as well as a development. You can look at it as a two-dimensional, like a circle only, but you can look at it multidimensional as a personal growth, kind of like an evolution of a human being too. So, and these days, the Gestalt therapy transform more to relational approach and kind of sensing one another in order to help one another to heal. So that's something that's coming as well a lot of from European School of Gestalt, especially from Italy, from Margherita Spagnololo, who is an amazing therapist and teacher. And I really love her teaching, especially working with couples and working with kids. She's like one of the best in the world, I believe, for that.
Okay, thanks for the overview. But how would a Gestalt therapy session work? Is it one-to-one? Is it in groups?
Yeah, you can have a one-to-one or groups. I work one-to-one. I don't work yet in groups, and it's what I like about the style is because it's very creative and very open. There is no prescribed model. There is no kind of firm structure that you kind of have to go as you would, let's say, go with cognitive behavioral therapy. So it's a lot of like the therapist is creating constant and co-creating with the client, like interventions that help you to open the perspectives, like look at your beliefs, look at your, let's say, unaware, let's say, statements or behaviors that you bring to the space, or also sensation. Let's say I might feel with some clients like very anxious. And if they don't know that people around them are anxious, because nobody told them. So it's something that we can kind of bring to the light and work with. And that's kind of in that the relational context as well, in the here and now, which is another quite important phenomenon in the Gestalt therapy, is being in the present moment and being here and now. It's what connects us and how we co-create our relationship together.
I see. So it's more like a talk you have with somebody in that moment.
It's a talk, but it's also a feeling, right? There's and sometimes it could be I like the part because it also has the sense of humor. Sometimes we feel therapy is only about crying and kind of sharing, but also there are very humorous moments when we realize sometimes what we do is actually very funny. And sometimes we need to also allow to laugh at ourselves, to lighten up, right? So it's also part of that too. So it's not, that's what I like about it. It's not so kind of heavy. It could be heavy, but sometimes there's always some gift in that moment, right? To honor it, to transform it.
Mm-hmm. And what do you like best about it?
Well, I like the co-creation because each client is different, right? Each client is unique, and I like meeting one another in the different connections, different ways of seeing one another, and helping clients actually unfold these layers that may be kind of like a veil that they cannot see, that cannot feel sometimes as well, and to allow them to feel, to allow them to see and make their decision and choices in their life that are the best for them in that moment.
Okay, and how was this therapy shown to you? How did you find the access to it? Did you said earlier through a friend? Or
Yeah,
how
my
did
friend.
you know that this was for you?
I found it through my friend and then through the program that I sign up, because initially I signed up for 2 years personal growth program that was at the time allowed at the Gestalt Institute. But at the end of the 2 years, I really like it and I want to go next and explore the working with more kind of teams and groups, and apply it in my at the time job as well. So I got very inspired, and I was very encouraged by the teachers as well to continue, because they see something in me that I didn't see that at that time. So there was something interesting for me, that I kind of stepped into the unknown, because I didn't know if I will become eventually a therapist. That was not kind of the intention that I went into with that, because my intention was really to work on myself, to help myself, to connect with another, also improve my English, because expressing yourself in another language is not so easy always, because you go to your mother tongue, and learning that you need the vocabulary for that as well. So that was also a helpful aspect of that program for me.
Okay, and you said that mainly you were drawn to this to heal yourself. So you had to overcome a lot of trauma as well, right? To be a
Yes.
therapist right now.
Yeah. Well, you have to work on yourself. And what I like about the program, because you are really put in very diverse situations, which really triggers kind of points that you maybe never envisioned. So it's also really preparing the therapists for the work with the clients and supporting them to process that. So even I had to go through my life pains, right? And I grew up in a socialism. I grew up in always kind of, we can't have it, we cannot afford it, or and the biggest kind of event for me, when my brother passed away in an accident suddenly. So you live with somebody and suddenly there is nobody. And also at the time I was not with my family. I even didn't know he passed away. I only had a dream at the time that he did. But then everything kind of unfolded when I got home as well. So it was just, and even still is sensitive till today, but it's part of who I am, right? So I can as well offer clients, I'm a human being too, and I have to go through difficulties. And then I moved to Canada as well. So again, you need to kind of start from the beginning. You have to reconnect, you have to understand the culture, you have to integrate yourself and really become part of the society too. And that's another learning that shows you who you are really, because again, you are tested in different setup, different environments, different positions. You need to express yourself in different language. So a lot of learning, a lot of growing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can imagine that being a therapist actually reflects back to you and shows you yourself, just like a relationship, right?
Exactly.
Relationships show
And
do the same.
and the beauty of this work is anything you haven't worked on properly, it comes to you through your clients. And it's like like, oh, I haven't worked on this, I haven't worked on this, and it's coming. And so that's why therapists go through therapy too. So that's part of kind of continuing work and learning. And I think that is something beautiful about it, because in the end we are human beings, each of us, and it's more how we can become the best of ourselves without need to defend or be upset with ourselves or others or whatever else other ways we learn to be in our life, right?
Very true. Yes, we are humans. We are also
Yeah.
humans. The
Yeah.
therapist is also human, is also cooking only with water,
Yeah.
not reinventing the wheel.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
What are the results that your clients get from the Gestalt therapy? Do you have or no, let me ask in a different way. What kind of challenges do they overcome? And do you have some examples maybe?
Yeah, so one of my niche that I specialize is burnout, because I find that a lot of professionals, and I went through that myself. So that's what I really helping people to overcome, because sometimes people tend to interchange depression and burnout, but I believe there is a little bit of difference in that, because the burnout is really way I can't set up the boundaries properly because I cannot say no and I want to please a lot of people, or I made some promises to myself without really realizing that I'm exhausting myself to the point that I can't exist, right? So the burnout is kind of very existential in some point, and especially if people in high careers, high stake professions, also in healthcare, it's very prevalent that people go through that because there is not only the personal and professional duty, but there is something above the profession, right? There's the kind of higher role and moral conduct is kind of put on them, and it's very hard to carry at times. So people struggle with that. So kind of weeding out what is that, and as you can imagine, underneath of it, a lot of times are some trauma, some unfinished businesses, as I call it, that we need to close, process, and move through, and also restore the energy and restore the balance in the life, and starting to showing clients that the life is not only work, that there could be something more to it. And I think that's another big aspect, especially in North American context. It could be quite important because there is the also kind of importance of being busy or constantly on the go, which tend to lead to the exhaustion as well. The other areas, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Very true. Yes, yes. That's why I like to live in Eastern Europe. It's more relaxed.
Yeah.
You're more allowed and able to be in the now. And in the Western world, it's a big problem there. Always, as you said, go, 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 go. And there is no time to just be and allow yourself to be in the now, smell the roses, enjoy the sunshine.
Exactly. And that kind of create a very big void, like a missing part of ourselves, right? Because there's something we somewhere deeply inside of ourselves crave. And it's also the crave for connections, crave for recognition and acknowledgement of one another. And that's kind of help as well creating healthy relationships, right? Because if I still kind of put myself in a kind of professional role, I would have very different power dynamic as a human being with another human being.
Yeah, of course. And would you say that your clients or you yourself have changed your life after such a therapy?
Of course they did, yeah. I have several clients who really changed their life, healed themselves through therapy, and sometimes they come and like just for one couple sessions just to check in, or if there's something coming up, but they are very grateful because they start to see the potential that they have in themselves. And I think that's always the beautiful part of being a therapist, to witness that that I can live my life and I can create it better for me and others around me. So I think that's what is inspiring me every day to do the work.
Interesting, yeah. So it's got kind of a wake-up call, or to take charge of their life again for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I work a lot of it this year. I feel the theme is about relationships, at least in my practice. So I see a lot of people go through very significant changes in their relationship. So, excuse me. So it's also what is the good time to leave when the relationship is not working and not healthy, and also how to process the grief when I'm not with the one that I love so much, and how to move on, because those are big transition points in our lives when we are integrating something that was into what it is now, and how I can move on and again bring to my life something that somewhere deep inside of me I was always looking for, but kind of settle for less than I really needed. So that's something interesting too.
Mhm. Yeah, it takes some time to get used to a relationship, and when this person then is gone again, it also takes some time to get used to be alone again.
Of course. But it's also to close the chapter, right? To allow that there was the time for us to be on the same journey, and now it's time to go different ways and do it very respectful way without need to blame or be angry or anything like that. But again, those are emotions that I'm working with the clients to process and navigate.
That's true, yes. Yeah, as someone who has also overcome a lot of traumatic experiences, I often say that you can only live after the shadow. So once this is overcome, this dark period, we can become ourselves, our true selves, and live our life. Do you agree?
I think so, because if you think about it, we can call it shadow, we can call it kind of challenging time in our lives, but it's the time we actually grow through this. If we would have everything easy and prepared for us, we would never have the kind of desire and the hunger to actually seek and look for anything that could be better, right? And through that searching, we actually learning who we are. And sometimes we can discover strengths that we never were aware of, that maybe we could be independent, that we could be on our own, that we can create a very different type of relationship and dynamics in our lives that we never thought of. And that actually, that feels much better, right? Because sometimes we are so afraid to going to do something new, because in our world we seek a lot of for guarantees and securities, but being in the flow and even going with the unknown, there's some kind of beauty in that, because in every moment you can unfold and make the decisions what you will assign to it, right? Because we making the choices if it is a beautiful day or not beautiful day, if we put it in a simple way like this. But really recognize the power within us as well, that we have that choice and we can do that and allow ourselves to do that. I think that's the important propeller to all the transforming points and also integrations of our shadows. I really like the I used to practice Tai Chi long time, and my teacher, he always taught us about these yin and yang, pretty much a sign that, kind of in each white there's a little black circle, and in each black place it's a little white circle, and they allow actually the movement, the dynamic of the change, the dynamic of coming from the empty space to the full space. And a lot of these analogies I'm using with my clients as well in my therapy, to realize that the polarities actually are part of our life, but they have very important role as well. So even we might have the shadow, but if we start working through it, we can actually discover something very beautiful through that. So I think that's another gift that I like working with clients in therapy and helping them transform their lives.
Amen, Zdenka. Yeah. Overcoming all these challenges brings us to a better version of ourselves.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yes, I thank you very much for this short talk today. And if somebody would like to contact you and know more about Gestalt therapy or any forms of therapy you do, how can they contact you?
The easiest way is through Instagram at Thepresenttherapy. You can find me on Instagram, or you can go to my website, www.thepresenttherapy.squarespace.com, or email me at thepresenttherapy@gmail.com. That's the easiest way to connect with me. And I'm very excited to hear other speakers. And thank you, Tanya, for having me. It was a really great opportunity and amazing chat with you. And I'm very excited for your project and introducing other very powerful and inspiring women to other women, because you never know who you can inspire through your journey.
That's true. You never know whose
Yeah.
life you're going to impact, and will be
Yes.
somebody you least expected.
Exactly. And sometimes it could be just one word or something that
Yeah.
brings you to the seeking and longing and looking for something new, right?
Exactly. Thank you very much, Zdenka,
You're
for
very welcome.
and to everybody else, thank you for listening. All the links will be below in the description. Have a good day. Bye.
Have a good day. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Wish you a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye.